Hey guys, welcome back. Today I'm going to be showing you how I pot the red dragon fruit. This plant I've been holding for about a month now, and the branches are just getting out of control. And actually I had to build a trellis for it too. And I'll show you what that looks like and how I went about potting the plant and what the final product looks like. Alright, let's get into it. Okay, here's the trellis I built for the red dragon fruit and that cement block there. The pot I'm going to use, and I got the organic soil over there for the red dragon fruit. Alright, and here I found the spot I'm going to put the red dragon fruit. I'm just going to do some string trimming, clear out a nice spot. Got my concrete edge bricks in there for stability. Make sure it's balanced when I put the pot on. And go ahead and throw in the trellis. See what it looks like. Position it the way I want it. Get the balance out and make sure it's balanced. Looks good. And everything kind of a space in there. I got the holes in there for the drainage, and looks pretty good. Now I'm getting the supplies. I'm using the 5 gallon per hour emitters, again with the 1/4 inch barbed couplings to go into that 1/4 inch tubing, and then finally into the 1/2 inch tubing of the main line. And these are the tools I use to make the hole for the 1/4 inch tubing. And you can get those online. I got them online at Amazon for like less than $10 for both, I believe. There's the 1/4 inch barbed couplings that I use. Take it out of the bag here just to show you real quick. That's what they look like. And it should be good. And here I got the 1/4 inch tubing, just threading that through the pot with the hole that I made at the bottom to eventually hook that up to the 1/2 inch irrigation tubing against the fence there. You can see I'm pulling it out to reach far enough to the 1/2 inch tubing against the fence. Here I got the puncture tool, just making the initial hole on the inside of the tubing there. So it's against the fence. You can see that it already has water in it from watering the plants previously. With that tool, the blue tool there is just to help make the hole a little wider for the 1/4 inch barbed couplings or coupling to get into the punctured hole there a little easier. You can see that I'm hooking that up right there. And that's what it should look in the final product. There's the 5 gallon emitters that I'll put on the end of the 1/4 inch tubing inside the pot. And again, add those black caps to them so it doesn't spray water out too vigorously onto your plant once you have it set up. You can see that's where you're going to hook up the emitter to the tube. And just kind of make sure it's nice and tight, and just let it hang there until I put the dirt in the plant in there. And you just want to make sure you have enough holes there. It's going to be blocked by the concrete blocks underneath, or a concrete block with the trellis on it. I decided to make a few more holes in it, and you can see there when I flip it over on the outer rim of the pot, just to make sure there's enough drainage. And some of those holes will be covered up by the cement block holding the trellis up, so that's why I did all the extra holes. Now I'm just lifting it in there, making sure it looks good again, and there's enough drainage. Looks balanced. And now I'm going to get the organic potting mix that I use. Again, you can get that at Home Depot. Pretty good soil. A lot of good nutrients in it for the plants or trees when you're potting them up. And again, what I do is I just add 1/3 of it, fill 1/3 of the pot full initially, then pound down the soil so there's no air pockets in there. And then you can add more soil in the plant after that. Of course, don't forget to use the organic Sure Start. I always recommend that. Really helps get the plant kick-started, gives it a good start, boost, and you really notice the difference once you start seeing the flowers come in. And I'm just kind of mixing in the Sure Start with the organic soil, and then adding a little bit more soil on top before I put the actual plant in there. And this pot size isn't very big, so I almost filled up the whole pot with soil. As you can see here, the pot size is not that big, but the branches there of the dragon fruit are quite long, and so I'm just positioning it in the best spot to put on the trellis. And the branches are pretty flexible, so you could just carefully weave them through there and let them hang on top of the trellis, because I'm going to have to tape those there up against the trellis post because they do get heavy. And then I got the gardener's green tape, flexible tape, used to tie up the dragon fruit there to the trellis. You want to put a bunch of tape on here because, like I said, it does get heavy, and those branches can break off if they are not secured well enough. And yes, you can see it was quite humid that day. 94 degrees, feels like 104 here in Central Florida. And I'm just putting the pot in, dug out a little bit of the dirt, and make sure you just press that down as good as you can. Make sure the branches are going to line up with the post there as straight as you can. And then once you got the soil all situated, I'll add some of the Job's organic citrus, fruit and citrus fertilizer. You can pick that up at Lowe's and Home Depot. And a couple handfuls should be good for that size pot. That's about a 20-gallon size pot. But yeah, just a couple handfuls and it should be good. And then I use the pine bark nuggets for some mulch on top, and just to cover everything up. And make sure you cover up the irrigation tubing as well. Just kind of spread it all out, and you can see the tubing right there. And I had the water on just to make sure that it was running well. You can see there it's running pretty well. And now I'm just going to go ahead and finish covering it up with the rest of the mulch. And here I'm just taping up the rest of the branches to make it more secure. And one thing I wanted to mention too is make sure when you're putting mulch around the root of the plant or the tree that you're putting in the pot, not to have the mulch touch the root, because you want to get root rot or anything like that. So be careful of that. The other thing I want to mention too is when you're tying the branches around the post, make sure when you're tying the tape, tie it around the wooden side of the post and not against the branches, because you can damage the branches if you're making a knot on the side with the branch. So make a knot on the side with just the wood post. And here I wanted to share something with you guys that I use. It's called the Alaska Fish Fertilizer 511. And that's 5% nitrogen, 1% phosphorus, and 1% potassium. And it's really good for all your plants and trees. It's organic, it won't burn, and it does a really good job of giving your plant and tree a boost when you start it out. And I just added a couple tablespoons to about 2 or 3 gallons of water, stir it up real good, and basically just throw it on top of your plant there. I don't know if you can tell the difference in the color on the screen there, but it should be like a brownish colored water, and that of course is the fertilizer that you're pouring onto your plant or tree. And that's what it looks like, the finished product. Just want to show you guys. You notice that I have the mulch away from the bottom of the tree to prevent root rot. But yeah, it's grown so much that it's hanging out above the trellis there, and eventually will hang over the sides, and hopefully we'll get some flowers this year and produce some fruit. And that's it, guys. Thanks for watching, and in the future I'm going to be putting out a video that shows all of our fruit trees in our backyard, and excited to share that with everyone. So let me know if you guys have any questions in the comments below, and we'll see you next time. Thank you.